Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everybody for being here. We will now go indeed a little bit about what I've been studying, about the different possible solutions that we can go there. First of all, we have the agenda. The agenda is really, we will have some few words about ABB. We will have some kind of classification of RTG based on the power generation type. We will have some kind of evaluation about the RTG type cranes. We will have one example. We will have some kind of energy cost. We will have some kind of findings that for such. And we will go quickly about what the future is or what the future should be. So some words about the ABB. ABB is a company which is more than 166,000 people working with 32 billion USD revenues in 2011. It's listed in 3 stocks, Zurich, Stockholm, and New York, and headquarters is in Zurich. ABB is the merger between ASEA and Brown Boveri, and that was really, both companies started on the last of 19th century, and really has a group of people dedicated to what we call marine and crane business. The activity on the cranes as well started at the times that ASEA and Brown Boveri was born. So this is a list about some kind of milestone, and we can highlight that the first crane equipment was delivered in 1897. Go so quickly, we were some kind of front runner on the automation and manning the stacking cranes. The first reference was in 1997. And something to highlight as well, some other automatic for stacking or semi-automatic or automatic terminal like the CTA in Hamburg, Euromax in Rotterdam, TPCT, Hanjin in Algeciras in Spain as well. Highlight as well, the Hanjin was in operation in 2010. And the last and not the least is really the unmanned ship-to-shore cranes, which is now project was got it this year on 3 different terminals. Saying so, we should go what RTG it is. Most of us know there is 2 RTGs on the picture. We can say that although that the color it is not the same, but as well the difference of equipment and the performance of each of them could be different. We can say that the configuration may vary. House machinery could have 1 or 2 sets. Trolley travel 2 to 4 sets, granting machinery 2 to 8 sets, and as well the diesel side, the diesel engine size may vary from 350 to 700. And the speed as well, the electrical generator inside could be 50 or 60 hertz, depends on 1,500 or 1,800 APM, which is really available. As well, there is some other considerations related to the type of generator inside. But now we will go a little bit on it. Okay, we can classify the RTG from the power generation point of view in 3 different types. What we can call some kind of conventional diesel alternator. This is a fixed speed engine with a fixed speed alternator. The range of power is something 350 to 700 kilowatt. On this group as well, we can have the 2-speed with a fuel saver diesel alternator. Range of power is really the same. We can say this number 2 is an evolution for number 1. There is a type 3, what we can call variable speed engine. This is more efficient than the previous one. The range as well for the diesel is on similar as previous one. But it used to be fitted with a DC bus and front-end converter to make really stable the electrical network inside. The second group that we can have it is some kind of RTG with energy storage option. This could be taken in 2 ways, with the batteries or any other or with other type of storage, like supercaps or firewall. We can say that this battery fitted RTG could be with a full-size genset diesel generator 350 to 700, or it could be with a small diesel engine, like 100 to 200 kilowatts, just with the purpose to share the batteries. The other type, the 4C and D with supercaps or a flywheel system, is used to be fitted with a small diesel engine alternator, plus this peak of power which the crane needs is really covered by these supercaps or really this flywheel system that stores energy and is able to provide so quickly the peak power needed by the demand. Saying so, there is the third type. If I'm able to move to next slide. Yeah, now it's here. Good. The third type is really those type of crane which electrically externally sourced. And we can have two types. We have an RTG with a conductor bar supply. The conductor bar supply used to be in low voltage, 400 to 500 volts. We can call the conductor RTG. Internally, there is no significant difference compared with when I say electrically. The voltage is the same, the type of equipment is the same, and the type of control we can say is quite similar with a previous RTGs. And the other one is the fitted one with cable reel. Normally, the supply used to be in medium voltage, used to be 3 kV or 6.6 kV, it depends on. But we need additional equipment like a transformer or medium voltage switchgear. Well, of course, we need to have some kind of cable reels and some other additional control equipment. In both cases, those cranes need to be fitted with a small engine just to change the stack line. As well, on both cases, there is possibility to regenerate the braking power via DC VAT and front-end converter. That will be to the mains, or really we can use that internally for chair batteries or supercap or any other thing. In both cases, this needs some kind of energy savings. We can have it in there. Here we can say a couple of these examples about this conductor bar or cable rail. The left part is affected to this conductor bar, and the right side pictures belongs to this cable rail. Saying so, what we can have the main element for the energy consumption into ATG. We can define the energy needed for one working cycle, this is approximately 4 kilowatts, and this is considering hoist, lowering, trolley traverse, and granted traveling. We can have some kind of base load which is needed to operate. We need some kind of ventilation, fans, air conditioning, floodlights, lights, pumps, PLC, even any other thing that we need to fit in just to make the operation easy and comfortable for the operator. And this will be on a range between 5 to 20 kilowatts. That will depend really if it is day, night, summer, winter, because that will affect quite a lot to the different loads. And the latest one, which is really the bad one, is really the electrical losses. Electrical losses is something that range between 5 to 10% of the engine size, and we can consider that could be on the rate around 40 kilowatts. Well, this is an average. Depends. We have said depends really on the size of the engine, but as well on how efficiency the engine it is itself. So we will have now some kind of example in which we have really a quiet port with very low traffic and a lot of idle time. Everybody can think that this is really very bad case. It is a very bad case, but it's really just to show really how the situation is. A quiet port with low traffic, we can say 50,000 TEU per year means the crane is around 10 moves per hour, and the total working time is, the total number of hours a year is 5,900. Means we have something like 2,500 idle or really waiting time for the cranes. The work cycle is, consider this 4 kilowatts, we will have something like 33 moves per year. We can have 133,000 kilowatts hour consumed a year. The base load, this 15 kilowatts, 88,500 kilowatts. And the electrical losses, the bad boy, is really something like 236,000 kilowatt hour. If we use that as well, because we have here translation between kilowatts hour and liters, fuel liters per year as well, with the price of 1.2 euros per liter, we will have the total cost for the operation is 144,000 euro per year. and if the price for the electricity is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, we will have something like 45,000 euro per year. So we can have really a big difference in the cost if we are using electricity for the same operation. We have seen here that there is a big difference if we are using electrical source or diesel fuels. As well, we can see that around 50% of the total energy consumed is really due to these losses. As mentioned before, this is really a very negative or very bad case. But even if we go to a case that we have just around 5,000 hours per year, the situation is quite similar. Even the wasted energy is 49%. Really, the work cycle is 32%, and the base load is 18%. So still, even we can see that a case that is not as negative as before, as well, the impact for the energy losses are really quite high. We have made some kind of estimation here about what is really the energy bill for the different solution for the fuel and for the electricity, and we are considering two aspects, visible port or quiet port, as well, two different prices for the fuel and two different prices for the electricity. We can see quite big gap. One thing is really highlight quite a lot is really that electrically sourced RTG, the bill for the energy is much lower. And even we cannot find a significant difference because there is no losses. I would say most of the losses that we had taken before do not exist on this electrically sourced. But we can see as well that the difference between busy for the same price, busy and quiet port, is just the difference on the number of operations. This is just productivity cost. We cannot escape that. Okay, this is just anyhow based on the previous example, and that could not be applicable to everything, but this is something that we use to have for base of discussion on it. Next one, we have some kind of findings. So for the retrofit solution into RTG, should we consider emissions, energy sources available, investment, not only from the cost point of view, as well for the geometry, for the terminal as well, payback time, and that will be based on efficiency of the engines, means size of the engines or really performance on the engines for the work cycle that needs to be performed. Secondly, which type of electrical equipment and control system has the crane already installed. It is not the same to have a single drive or a multi-drive or with a common DC VAT or front-end converter. Third one is really the operational profile of the RTG. This is really number of tails which has been handled a year, moved per hour or waiting time. This is really especially if longer periods occur. And of course the latest, which is really the energy cost. Always we have to consider what is the price for the energy that we can get into a terminal, or kilowatt hour, or the liters, or price euros per liter for diesel or for the fuel. Next one, the second part of these findings is really that the losses on the RTG, conventional RTG, is mostly on the fan. This is close to 50%, as we have seen before, for the total energy of the RTG crane. The second thing that we have found is really the electrical RTG has very minor energy losses. And the latest one, and not the most less important, is really electricity is always cheaper than a diesel, on a range something 35 to 85 per kilowatt hour. Of course, this is not only for the energy as well, it's including the taxes that is being there. And latest one, let's say, how the future it is or how it should be. I will say that it should be electrical. Any kind of RTG upgrade, the first option to be studied should be always the electrical ones. New development or really expanding terminals not only should be electrical, as well should be automatic. So automatic RNG or automatic stacking cranes, that should be where the future should be. Because the improvement not will be only on the environmental, and environmental means emission but as well noise. The second thing is really we will have much more compact yard space, so even we can increase the capacity of a terminal without doing any kind of modifications. The third one is really the operational cost. not only for the energy point of view, as well for the labor point of view, will be much more efficient to have this automatic stacking crane. And the latest is really productivity improvement. Always there is a productivity improvement when we are going to automatic stacking cranes terminal operation. And this is how it is. That's all. Thank you.